Welcome to episode 187 of EDH Commander Challenge. I'm your host, BT. In celebration of reaching 1,800 family members here on YouTube, we'll be giving back to the MTG community by having a brand new giveaway. This time we'll be giving away a foil Helm of the Host to one lucky subscriber of the channel. I'll announce next week how you'll be able to enter and have your chance to give this card a good home in your deck or binder. By the way, this episode, like all our content, is brought to you by our EDHCC club, aka the Patrons. Thank you for your support. This wouldn't be possible without you. Also, as the holidays are upon us, if you plan to grab some custom sleeves or a playmat for yourself or for a friend, check out yourplaymat.com and use our promo code BT10YP or click the affiliate link in the description below to receive 10% off your order. It's cool swag at a cheaper price and also helps out the channel at the same time. Now then, let's go check out those opening hands. First, in this corner, with an opening hand of 2 Swamps, Wayfarer's Bauble, Carrion Feeder, Grave Titan, Liliana Death's Majesty, Noxious Gearhulk, and his mono-black general Gisa Glorious Resurrector. He is yours truly, the host, BT. Next, in this corner, with an opening hand of a Forest, Gargoyle Castle, Arcane Signet, Fabricate, Concentrate, Finale of Revelation, Kefnit's Monument, and his Simic-style partner commanders, Brinelin the Moon Kraken and Kodama of the East Tree. He is the unpredictable Gemi. Gemi won the dice roll to start us off, so let's begin our latest card fight. For our first turns, Gemi plays a Forest, while I play a Swamp and cast Wayfarer's Bauble. Gemi plays Gargoyle Castle and casts Arcane Signet, while I play a Swamp. Gemi plays a tapped Thriving Grove and calls blue. Then he casts Kefnit's Monument. But before he passes, I sack my Bauble, then a basic land from my deck into play tapped. For my turn, I tap a Swamp for mana, and then sack it to play Lake of the Dead. Then I cast my general, Gisa. As his blue creatures cost 1 less to cast thanks to his monument, Gemi casts Mulldrifter and draws 2 cards thanks to its ETB. However, he makes a misplay that he didn't catch, as the monument's other effect allows you to make a creature unable to untap during its next untap step, but in addition, Gemi thought it also taps down the creature. For my turn, as I'm short on mana and need some card draw, I float 2 mana with my Swamps. Then I sack one of my Swamps to my Lake of the Dead for 4 more mana to cast Noxious Gearhulk. With its ETB, I destroy the Mulldrifter and gain 2 life. And thanks to Gisa, the Drifter is exiled as I pass. For Gemi's turn, he casts Fabricate to add Mana Crypt from his deck to his hand, which he then casts, followed by Kodama's Reach, which lets him add an island from his deck into play tapped, and a Forest to his hand, which he plays as land for turn before passing. During my upkeep, Gisa's effect takes the exiled Mulldrifter and puts it into play under my control with Decayed. With its ETB, I draw 2 cards. I play a Swamp, and then move into combat an attack with Gisa, and the Gear Hog for a total of 9 damage. In my second main phase, I cast Carrion Feeder and pass. During his upkeep, Gemi rolls and calls for his Mana Crypt, but fails and takes 3 damage. Then he casts one of his generals, Brinelin the Moon Kraken. With its ETB, he bounces Gisa to my hand. He also uses the Monument to make my Gear Hog not untap next turn, which this time is the correct effect. Then he passes. For my turn, I cast Innocent Blood, in which Gemi sacks his general and I sack the Mulldrifter. Then I play Bajuka Bog, which comes into play tapped and removes Gemi's graveyard from the game. Then I move into combat and poke Gemi with the Carrion Feeder for a single damage and pass. During his upkeep, Gemi rolls and calls for Mana Crypt and is successful and thus takes no damage. He then casts Emerald Medallion, making his green spells cost 1 less, and then casts his other general, Kodama of the East Tree. As he casts a creature, he uses the Monument to keep the Gear Hog tapped and passes. For my turn, as I'm still mana short and trying to use my Lake of the Dead's effects sparingly, I simply cast Oblivion Stone and pass. During his upkeep, Gemi rolls and calls for Mana Crypt, but fails and takes 3 damage. Then he plays Yavimaya Coast and casts Growing Rites of Itlamok. With its effect, he checks his top 4 cards, revealing Llanowar Elves from among them, and putting the rest in the bottom. Then he casts the Llanowar Elves. And he has his Monument, keep my Gear Hog tapped again. Then he casts Concentrate to draw 3 new cards. Then he moves into combat and attacks with Kodama. As my feeder can't block, I take 6 damage before Gemi passes. For my turn, I play a Swamp and move into combat and attack with my Carrion Feeder. Gemi declares no blocks, so I sack my Gear Hog to place a +1/+1 counter on the feeder, and thus Gemi takes 2 damage. Then, to the surprise of no one, I use my Oblivion Stone to pop all non-land permanents, and then pass the turn. Gemi plays Emergence Zone and casts Ronas's Monument, followed by Explosive Vegetation, which lets Gemi get some basics from his deck into play to recoup the mana sources he just lost before passing. For my turn, I cast Liliana Vess. I use her +1 effect to have Gemi discard a card and pass. For Gemi's turn, he recasts Kodama and passes. For my turn, I cast Ravenous Chupacabra. With its ETB trigger, I have it destroy Kodama. Then I use Liliana's +1 again to have Gemi discard another card. In response, Gemi casts Brainstorm to draw 3 cards and place 2 cards from his hand on the top of his deck. Then he discards a card to Liliana, and I pass. For Gemi's turn, he casts Soul Ring and recasts his other general, Brinelin. With the ETB effect, he bounces Liliana and passes. my turn, I play a swamp and cast Liliana, Death's Majesty. I use her -3 to reanimate a creature from my graveyard to play. And I choose Noxious Gearhulk. With a TTB, I destroy Brinelin and gain 8 life. Then I move into combat and attack with my Chupacabra for 2 damage, before passing. Gemi says it's time to fight fire with fire, and says he plans to blow up some of my permanents with the help of Terastodon. His targets are Liliana, Lake of the Dead, and a swamp. In response, I sack the targeted swamp to my Lake of the Dead for 4 mana. I use one of said mana to cast Dark Ritual to give me 6 mana total, which is enough to flash in Dictate of Erebos. Then Terastodon resolves, destroying my other 2 permanents, which are replaced with 2 3/3 elephant tokens. And then Gemi passes. For my turn, I move straight into combat and attack with the elephants and Gearhulk. Gemi declares no blocks, but casts Resculpt to exile my Gearhulk and replace it with a 4/4 Izzet Elemental token. Then he takes 6 damage. In my second main phase, I recast my General Gisa and pass. Gemi plays a forest and casts Scholar of the Ages. With its ETB, he returns both Concentrate and Resculpt from his graveyard to his hand. Then he recasts the Concentrate right away to draw 3 more cards, and passes. For my turn, I cast Merciless Executioner. With its ETB, we each sack a creature. In response, however, Gemi taps his land and his 2 creatures to convoke for casting Sundering Vitae, and destroys my Dictate of Erebos. Then he sacks his Scholar, which gets exiled to Gisa, and I sack my Executioner. But, as he has no blockers left, I can move into combat and deal lethal damage to take the win. Gemi's deck is a lot like the game character Mega Man, with a variety of tools for things like draw power, mana fetch, and search. But sadly, it didn't get to show off much of the power of the partner commander effects here, although it was nice to see Brinelin bouncing some of my permanents. Let us know in the comments below or to Gemi directly what you think is currently the best Simic Partner combination in EDH currently. For me, Dictate of Erebos was my hero, as when Gemi got Terastodon, he couldn't block it without risking it being lost to Gisa's effect if it got destroyed. Agree with our picks? Let us know in the comments down below. Also, if you enjoy our content, consider becoming a patron. Give you such things as entries into our mega prize tournaments, bonus entries into giveaways, your nickname as part of our EDHCC club, and so much more. Also, the holidays are here, so if you plan to pick up some nice custom sleeves or even a custom playmat for yourself or a friend or even a family member this year, please visit yourplaymat.com. Use our promo code BT10YP or click the affiliate link in the description below to receive 10% off your order. This gives you sweet swag at a cheaper price and helps out the channel at the same time. That's it for this week. And don't forget, our next tournament is fast approaching, guys. Thank you so much for watching. It means a lot to me. Until next time, stay warm, stay safe, and keep on card gaming. Much love and cheers.